Hi guys, it's Professor Daniel here, and I was just answering a student question. Scott from my CAS 118 class was asking about the Liquify on your last module, and he wanted to push it even further, or at least that's what he said in his comments. He might have just been saying that to be sarcastic, but I took that to mean, how could I make this even more extreme than that? So before, after, that's pretty extreme, but let's take it all the way to the Spinal Tap 13. Anyway, I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do it. One way would just be to double click on the Liquify and use some of the tools over here on the left. But I wanted to show you a couple ways I like to work with Liquify. I like to say show the image, and I like to say show the mesh and show the face overlay. I'm not sure if that's the default these days, but I've always got that on because then I can kind of see where it was and where it's going. For instance, I'm going to grab this little, it's called a forward warp tool. It looks like a finger painting. And I like to use my left and right brackets to make my brush size larger or smaller. You could also come up to here and make your brush size larger or smaller right here. But I like this because it gives me a little more, and so I'm sculpting the face to give it a little more, Dust Bowl vampire contours. And just to show like extreme Liquify. Giving a little butt chin on the bottom here. Make the mouth go up and down. I don't know, that looks pretty bad, but Command Z works. I can undo, and then the Command Option Z on the Mac to undo it even more. Another one of these tools that I really like is the Bloat and Pucker, and I'm going down to the one right here, the Bloat tool, and again I can use my left and right brackets to make my crazy anime eyes even bigger and more extreme. And I can, do that here on the forehead, make the forehead more puffy, bloated, the cheeks. Again, you can fool around with all these ones. There's sort of undo, there's masking, but my favorite tools are just the forward warp tool and then the bloat and the pucker. One of the other things that you can do with these is you can save your mesh. In the mesh, if you turn it on, you can kind of see what it is. It looks like somebody has taken a grid and then you are pushing the grid around, and your pixels are being stuck to the grid, so they're being pushed around too. So I'm going to say save mesh, and I'm going to go to my desktop and I'm going to save this as extreme.mesh. Or, nothing really matters what I save it as long as I save it. And I did this a second ago to test it, and I saw him saying replace. And then if for some reason I said cancel, I could apply that mesh to another one. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to duplicate the original, and I'm duplicating it by dragging it on top of these sort of new layer button at the bottom of my layer palette, or undo that, or I can right click near the name of the layer. Let me rename this layer. So I'm going to rename this one original from Scott. Remember, I didn't apply anything new to it because I just saved my mesh and I said I didn't apply anything. So I'm going to right click on that and say duplicate layer, and I'm going to name this one extreme. And on this Liquify, I'm going to open it up and apply that mesh. So either load last mesh or load mesh. I'll go load so I can find it, but I believe that it would remember. And so there's my extreme mesh again, and I could rework it. I'm going to turn that back on. I don't know why I can't see it. Let's see, maybe it's just, I don't know, it's acting odd, but I'm just going to say okay. And okay, so let's look at this as we go. So there's our original. There's Scott's tweak. And then there's our extreme tweak, which looks like it could use a little more refinement. But that's enough for right now. Thank you, and have a nice liquefying day. Bye.